Trent Alexander-Arnold suffers yet another setback after leaving Liverpool for Real Madrid. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been dealt a fresh blow in his first months as a Real Madrid player, after the ex-Liverpool man was once again left out of Thomas Tuchel's latest England squad. The 27-year-old has played just 26 minutes under Tuchel since he took charge of the Three Lions at the start of the year and has now been omitted from the last three squads. Alexander-Arnold was unable to meet up with the group last month due to a hamstring injury, but now fit once again, has been overlooked by the former Chelsea boss, as was the case in September. Tuchel has selected Reece James and Jed Spence ahead of Alexander-Arnold in his latest squad. It means the right-back's chances of making the World Cup squad look increasingly unlikely. After November's fixtures, there are just 2 more friendly games in March before Tuchel selects the group that flies to North America for next summer's tournament. Despite that, Tuchel said on Friday that there could still be a place at the World Cup for those not named in the last 3 squads. I will also be open because I know anything can happen. You don't wish for injuries, but it can happen in short notice, said the German. I think it's important for me to reconnect after these 3 camps with all 55 to 60 players on the long list and be in close contact and see them, meet them, and text them. We have to stay open-minded because young players can come through. Those who are struggling for minutes can play important roles for their clubs. Need to make sure the door is always open and they are on their toes. The final nomination is only in May, and until then, anything can happen. Alexander-Arnold's latest exclusion is compounded by Tuchel's decision to recall Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham to the England squad, having omitted the pair for the last roster. The decision continues Alexander-Arnold's fractious relationship with the England national team. Despite being considered among the world's best right-backs in recent years, the former Red has earned just 34 caps for the Three Lions. It comes after what has been a difficult week for the real star, who returned to Anfield on Wednesday for the first time since his acrimonious departure over the summer. He was booed by the home fans in the Champions League encounter against Liverpool and was introduced for the final 9 minutes of the encounter. Alexander-Arnold has also struggled to hold down a starting berth at the Bernabeu since arriving last summer and started just half of Real's La Liga fixtures. Before his injury absence, Arne Slot expects Sunday's meeting to produce another enthralling contest between Liverpool and Manchester City. The Reds visit Etihad Stadium for a 4:30 p.m. GMT kickoff that will pit the reigning Premier League champions against the team they deposed last season. No other club has won the title since the 2016-17 campaign, and Liverpool and City go into this weekend placed 3rd and 2nd respectively in the table, with Arsenal currently leading the way, ahead of the latest installment of a rivalry that has generated several classic clashes in recent years. Slot held a press conference at the AXA Training Centre on how much of a boost it would be for Liverpool to win away at City. City is, of course, a game on itself, you could say. Playing there away from home is probably one of the most difficult challenges you have throughout the season, although I constantly keep saying how difficult it is to play Brentford away or Crystal Palace away. Every away game is difficult, every home game as well, but an away game even more. And that is what I think City have felt this season, because I think they have lost 2 away games. I think we have lost 3 away games. The only exception to that is Arsenal maybe lost 1 away game against us, but they have been the exception this season. The rest have probably done similar things. So, a very interesting game to look forward to, because when I wasn't working here and when I was in Holland, I didn't know when City v Liverpool was, or when Liverpool v City was, and I could tell you I was 100% sure in front of my television when this game was there. Similar to the Clasico, by the way. But these are the few games everyone is looking forward to, and if you are not part of it, you are looking forward to it as well. On whether he believes the match will be worth watching again, I think it's always worth watching because so many great individuals are playing that game, and these teams, 9 out of 10 times, give you what you expect. For me, with Pep Guardiola, that's 10 out of 10. What I liked about Pep Guardiola's teams is that 10 out of 10 times you get what you are hoping for. A great game of football with no time wasting and all kind of things that I start to dislike more and more about football. These are not the things you can see if you are watching a Man City game. On the importance of the game in terms of the title race, I only focus on ourselves, and our main focus is on consistency at the moment. We've lost a few games, much more than we usually do, and now we've won 2, so our focus is on getting consistent and improving, getting players fit, and then we will see where that will lead to. But at this moment of time, it's the league table. Definitely not the only focus we have. On Liverpool's performance in beating Real Madrid in midweek, their second win in a row after defeating Aston Villa. For me, but again I say mainly the same, we've reached that level of performance in other games as well, when the playing style of the opponent was compared to that. But we always knew that we were able to do so. I've showed them many times when playing styles were similar that we could do the same as we did against Madrid, so it wasn't a surprise to me how both games went. It was helpful for us that the other team did what we expected them to do, because in 8 out of the 10 games I think we've played this season, we faced a different playing style than all the games these teams played before. But Villa and Madrid did what we could expect, and I think that's always helpful. Then there is still a lot of work to be done by the players to get a performance like that, but it is helpful. Where I think we can expect from City is the playing style we always see, but the difficult thing in that is that they are very good at it and have very good players, so that makes that challenge big again. But as I said, every Premier League game and every Champions League game is a challenge. One of the enduring images from Liverpool's statement 2-0 win at Man City in February was of Dominic Szoboszlai collapsing to his knees in exhaustion at the full-time whistle. The midfielder, who returns to the Etihad with the champions on Super Sunday, had just turned in a virtuoso, lung-busting display. No Liverpool player covered more than his 11.54 kilometer that afternoon, creating Mohamed Salah's opener after a cleverly worked short corner routine, before doubling the visitors' lead with a cool finish from his more advanced role. Head coach Arne Slot changed his formation to play with 2 no-10s, one of who was the versatile Hungarian, a tactical masterstroke behind the win that extended Liverpool's lead at the top of the Premier League to 11 points and saw them all but crowned champions. When, 2 months later, the title was confirmed, it was one built on the foundations of a new-look midfield comprising Szoboszlai, Alexis Mac Allister, and Ryan Gravenberch. The trio signed 2 years earlier by Jurgen Klopp after the Reds had decided to pull out of the running for Jude Bellingham. Szoboszlai had impressed in the first half of his debut campaign at Anfield, with now trademark pile drivers against Aston Villa and Leicester City, before fading after injuring his hamstring at the turn of the year. The all-action midfielder was then rushed back too quickly, with Liverpool still battling on all 4 fronts, only to aggravate the same injury against Chelsea and be sidelined for 12 games, not returning until March as Klopp's injury-ravaged side began to falter down the home straight. Under Slot's management, though Szoboszlai produced more consistent displays, helped also by his medical team keeping the player in peak physical condition so he could feature in 36 of Liverpool's 38 league games last season, contributing 6 goals and 7 assists. This campaign, however, has seen the 25-year-old's game move to an even higher level, so much so that despite being utilized as a makeshift right back at times after early season injuries to both Connor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong, he has been Slot's best performer so far. Whether that be in the early weeks of the campaign when the team, while winning, was clearly stuttering and needing moments of individual brilliance to get them over the line, such as his outrageous late free lick to beat title rivals Arsenal at Anfield in August, the third longest top-flight strike this season at 31.9 yards. Or during the Champions' recent losing run, it was Szoboszlai again outperforming his teammates, as seen in the 3-2 defeat at Brentford, while it should come as no surprise that when Slot urgently needed his side to get back on track ahead of a massive week, it was the Hungary international again to the fore. Having both assisted and scored in Liverpool's 5-1 win at Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League, the midfielder then saved his best for last with 2 man-of-the-match displays as Aston Villa and Real Madrid were beaten at Anfield to get the Reds back on track. Characteristically, Szoboszlai outran all his teammates, 11-18 kilometers against Villa last Saturday night, while on Tuesday evening he covered the second most distance against Real, creating the winner for Mac Allister with an undefendable cross and having 5 shots, 4 on target, as well as playing 3 key passes.